America, y'all. America.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know people get butthurt over every little thing we do.
Oh my God. Okay, so yesterday we inadvertently pissed off every vegan in the world, or Z did. I just egged him on from behind camera.
I hate you so much, Tom Heineberg. Seriously, here's the thing, guys. We do a review of the movie, the documentary, if you will, What the Health? And it's the worst piece of trash you could ever watch. And again, that's an ad hominem attack, but
it's not an ad hominem attack. No. Not all opinions are created equal. That movie is pure garbage, and if you're saying otherwise, you're an insane human being who we should wipe off the face of the planet.
But this is the thing, Tom.
I'm not a doctor. I can say whatever I feel like.
It's not pure garbage because they have a lot of good points. A plant-based diet is actually beneficial for many people. It's better for the environment. It's better for being humane in the setting of factory farming and the horrible atrocities therein. So I agree with all that. The takedown of the movie had to do with the way that science was portrayed in that movie to support what they're trying to argue. And it was so back-asswards. By the way, we're going to curse because it's TribeTalk. At least he's going to curse. I'm going to wave the flag because of America.
Also, we got a donate button up for the Humane Society to prove that we love animals.
That's right.
But feel free not to donate because a lot of people need help before animals, so that's my elephant speaking.
You shut your hole, Tom Heineberg. We're trying to placate the 3 vegans we agree with out. No, I'm kidding. Listen, guys, so a lot of vegans got upset and they thought we were attacking plant-based diet and veganism. We're not. We're attacking a really stupid, freaking stupid movie. Like
junk science. We're
really
attacking
garbage.
Junk science.
And look,
the way the filmmakers presented their opinions, which were opinions. This documentary is not a documentary, it's an editorial.
It's a crappy-mentary.
Yeah.
So it's a big opinion piece, but here's the thing. We edited it out for the sake of funniness and engageability and shareability. A lot of me talking about the science behind why plant-based diets can work, but why what they're saying there is unbalanced. There's a lot of correlation, not causation. There's a lot of confirmation bias. There's a lot of just plain wrong biochemistry. And especially one of the docs, I forget his name. I'm going to try not to commit libel by saying his name. So there was a lot of wrongness in there. We can't get into that. And the video's already, like 10 minutes long, 11 minutes long. So
we have an hour and a half long version of the video.
We have an hour and a half long version of me responding to every piece of the video.
There's too much misinformation for us to go through it piece by piece.
It's too much.
It would be boring.
What we may do is release an addendum where I talk more about the science. And I want people who are vegans or who are ethically opposed to eating animals to understand that I don't oppose you. I actually am very much on your side in many ways. Tom isn't, because he will kill a cow, rip its guts out, and eat it raw. But that's because he is a man bear.
Did I ever tell you that I went vegan? I was vegan for 2 months.
Wow.
Maybe 3.
And how'd that go?
I felt generally listless when I was on the vegan diet. I was doing it for ethical concerns, not as a health reason.
Right.
But then I looked into the ethical concerns and I thought, well, okay, what happens if society all goes vegan and then we do factory farming we do agriculture at mass scale, right? Like you have to use a thresher to, pick up the agriculture, whatever you're farming, corn, soy, whatever. And when you use a thresher, you kill every animal that's in the path of the thresher. So there is no purely ethical diet on the planet.
I mean, I would say there's a harm reduction approach. So you try to do the least harm to the most complexity that you can.
This is why I would actually rather eat a cow than a chicken. Because one cow can feed more people than a chicken. A chicken feeds like 2 people max. A cow can feed a village.
Well, there are some schools of thought that say a cow maybe is more complex evolutionarily than a chicken, and therefore you're destroying greater complexity.
They're real dumb.
There's some ethical.
They're real dumb. They're real dumb. Have you ever gone up to them and they just go like this?
Oh, you're talking about the cows. I thought you were talking about the people who say stuff like that. Okay, so by the way, we are in our green room of Studio Z. Here's our costume. You'll notice. Oh, oh my God, this is the best.
Oh, this is the greatest. So yesterday they went online and they said, "Who's this doctor promoting fur and anti-vegan?"
You guys have to understand, this is my coat from readmission. Because, it's my 10th readmission. I'm not the sharpest clinician, but I thought...
This thing costs like $13.
It costs $13. It's made in China, and it's like polyester.
So if it's real fur, we got a hell of a deal on this thing.
Many polyesters died to make us this suit. Dipshit.
Oh my God. But I'm so proud of the Z-Pack for just going to bat in the comments.
It's amazing. So shitheads come out and attack me. And by the way, it's pronounced Shathid,
Yes.
in case you're wondering. What do you mean milk is an institutionalized racism? And if Z-Dick MD, by the way, somebody photoshopped a picture of a penis onto my head and called me Z-Dick MD.
Oh, you guys want to see it?
Yeah, show it to them.
So
and
good.
I'll tell you what offends me about this picture.
So good.
Not the fact that there's a dick on my head, because that's pretty awesome. It's the fact that it's an uncircumcised dick. All right? That's just gross. That is just gross. Anyway, so this is our green room in Studio Z. This is where guests come to be on the show. This is where we work. This is where our edit bay. I'll give you a quick tour while we're talking.
You can't throw your flag on the ground. See?
Oh, shit. Did I put the flag on the ground? Oh, my God.
America, bro.
And I'm proud to be an American. And so here's our quick computer. We got a few lights we haven't finished setting up. We got Tom. We got a dope fridge right there. And then I'll just give you a quick peek of the studio, and then we're going to keep talking about this because it's important. That's the set. And Tom and those guys hide back there. And it's dope AF. All right, let's sit back down and talk because this is a good conversation. Yeah, baby. Let's do this. It's 4th of July, and neither one of us are with our families because we care about you, Z-Pack. We care about you. I learned it from watching you, Pack.
Dude, so anyway, the vegans were basically making this, they're making this health argument. They're like, well, it's healthier to be vegan, blah, blah, blah. Like, definitely it's healthier to have more plants in your diet. Like, nobody's saying it's not. But it's not healthy to be 100% vegan, first of all. And healthy is the least plausible argument to be a vegan. Ethics weigh much more in the conversation.
I'll push back and I'll say if you do veganism right, with the right nutrient balance, you don't miss out on the iron, you get enough protein, you can do quite well. Some people do really, really well. Dean Ornish has argued for low fat.
Don't you think, though, that, like, just realistically, it's better to be a vegan 90%
so
and then 10% meat?
Realistically, a lot of people don't have the support necessary to do it right, but that doesn't mean we can't generate the support to do it right. I personally can't tolerate a vegan diet because it's too high in carbohydrates, and I get hungry all the time. I overeat. And
that was the thing. I found that when I was on the vegan diet, I was basically just eating carbs all the time. Because I'd be like, bread's hella vegan, Oreos are vegan.
And it gets to the point. There is no one-size-fits-all diet. If you're ethically and genetically really inclined to eat a vegan diet, that's wonderful. You're very lucky. I'm not. And so I have a generally good fat-heavy diet, so monounsaturated fats, olive oil, nuts, things like that, fish, chicken, poultry. Occasionally I'll have red meat. I'm doing okay.
You know what I had to get over to cure myself with the veganism thing is I had a disease. It was called veganism.
Yeah.
I had to get over the fact that we're all gonna die basically, and I had to let go of my fear of death because that was driving a lot of my veganism because I was saying I don't want to die, so these animals don't want to die. Nobody wants to die. Blah, blah, blah. But we're all gonna die. This is just gonna happen naturally.
Yeah.
This is a temporary place that we're in right here, right now. So
you're getting deep and spiritual on me, vegan boy.
Well, that's what led me to veganism. I think a lot of them have the same compassionate arguments for veganism. The problem is you don't have any scientific arguments for the science that was in this movie. Okay?
Very few. Very few.
No, we were not attacking a plant-based diet.
Yeah. No. We are not attacking a plant-based diet. We're attacking a stupid movie.
It was
and
one of the
really
worst
bad
movies
science
I've ever seen
and
in my
really
entire life.
shilly doctors who are saying things that make no physiologic sense.
It was purely laughable.
Yeah, it was laughable.
It was hard to get through 10 seconds of this movie.
It was bad.
Anybody who has any critical thinking could go on Netflix, watch this thing, and turn it off after 5 minutes because it is just pure junk science, pseudoscience nonsense.
So that's who we're hating on. And it's not even hate. It's just we're having fun at the expense of pseudoscience.
I would rather watch What the Bleep Do We Know?
Yeah, right?
Or
I'd rather watch, what's the other one?
The really bad one.
There's a couple really bad ones.
They're all terrible.
We'll watch them all.
We'll
watch them all.
We're gonna do this more as a series. So we're gonna do Vax next, and we're gonna talk. We haven't seen that, so we're just gonna give our honest interpretation of it.
But you know what's amazing? So all kinds of people came out of the woodwork to attack me on this one.
Yeah.
Including this GI doc that I went to elementary school with, who's our parents are still friends. And he comes out and he's like, Steven, you don't even see patients anymore. And how dare you? I am so disappointed. And I'm like, somebody got triggered pretty bad. Really? First of all, yes, I do see patients. But you know what? He was bragging about seeing 100 patients a week. I'm like, if you're seeing 100 patients a week, you're not thinking about anything but getting through those charts. You are not thinking about nutrition. You're not thinking about science.
It reminds me, you told me one time, you said that when you were seeing patients, you were 5 to 10 years behind modern medical literature.
Dude, it's
you couldn't read. You didn't have time.
You're just plowing through, trying to get through your day. When I was a full-time hospitalist, man, It was like getting through those patients without hurting them, keeping them safe, and getting them out of the hospital, teaching the house staff, trying to keep up. It is it's 120% time job, right?
Yeah.
And so once I started peeling back the clinical stuff and was able to focus on bigger picture stuff, and including the movement, including more specific teaching, those kind of things, it allowed me to do different things. But regardless, you can criticize me for those kind of things. That's fine. What I think is interesting is that this particular video triggers it. Like, nutrition has become the new religion or the new politics where you can't talk about it in mixed company around the table.
It's very weird.
Because it's belief-oriented now, because the science is so shitty.
And people judge each other for their nutritional choices.
Wait, Tom, you're like not a vegan. What's going on?
Now, see, like, we all do judge people who are on the standard American diet and who are, drinking the sugary sodas and eating Milky Way.
Logan,
and, like,
I'm looking at you.
Going to McDonald's all the time. Yeah. But that said, that's not always true because, like, I look at a guy like, you don't know who this guy is, but, like, Marshawn Lynch was a running back. Now he's for the Raiders. He used to be for the Seattle Seahawks. And he eats Skittles and, all this crap. Floyd Mayweather, same kind of thing. And these dudes are super athletes in peak physical condition. So, like, it's working for them.
It just goes to go. There's no one size fits all.
Right.
Some people can actually tolerate the standard American diet just fine.
And they're both on a heavily carb-based diet.
Right, because they exercise.
They're exercising all day long.
The minute they stop, they'll get, like, a lot of linebackers and stuff. You see, they get just really... Because
you remember Michael Phelps' diet for the Olympics was like 10,000, 12,000 calories a day. But he was exercising all day, 8 hours a day. So he was also burning it off like crazy.
High the whole time.
Yeah.
So he was like, get me some more Scooby snacks, man.
He was like, some more pancakes sound like dope, bro. Could you bring those to me at the Olympic Village? Thank you.
So the haters are going to hate. We're going to keep repping science, and we're going to have fun with it. And if people think it's just ad hominems, I'm actually sensitive to that criticism because the anti-vaccine movement is just heavy on attacking people and not the science because they don't know the science. And so we just edited out a lot of the science for sort of entertainment purposes. We may have to put some of it back in.
Z made a lot of scientific points, and I was like, that's not funny.
Yeah,
let's
he made
go
me
hard
edit it
after
out.
this stupid documentary.
And then I'm like, Logan, you're the tiebreaker. What do you think? And he's like, get rid of it. It's dumb. I'm like, but then the whole video is me going, this guy's pants cause cancer. Which
what was funny? Well, you know what? We did a
fact.
We did a disservice there because it made it seem like we have no arguments, but we have all the arguments.
Yeah.
They're all on our side. Yeah. That's why it was so asinine.
And
it was
the other things we cut out were the times that I agreed with the movie.
Yeah.
So there were times when I would be like, you know what? I actually agree with this guy.
Although in order to agree, you have to be a very high-level human being who's able to look past a lot of bullshit. Because I couldn't agree with almost any of it. So Z is a lot more evolved than I am.
Well, I'm struggling with it for more years than you, Tom Heinberg. What do we got for comments?
Let's see. Grass-fed, free-range is the only way to go. Although I will eat meat no matter what it takes to get it. Denise says.
Yeah, I'm in the grass-fed, ethically raised category, and then some people have attacked me. There's no such thing as ethically raised. Oh, come on, dude.
PETA and its followers complain that animals shouldn't be eaten because they have feelings and sense pain. However, science has proven that plants also have feelings and sense pain. So vegans and vegetarians are murdering plants and torturing them too.
Let me say something. I'll tell you what I believe. And again, this is a scientifically vague thing. I believe everything is conscious. So consciousness is a fundamental property of the fabric of the universe. That means an electron has some degree of I amness. And as they get more complex, they get higher levels of, it's actually better with that off, get higher levels of awareness and consciousness. So if everything is conscious, then how the hell do we live without hurting things? And the truth is, it's just a function of consciousness being aware of itself that we have to eat other living things.
Right.
That's just the nature of the universe. Like, people hunt, animals hunt each other. This is part of the thing. Now, the thing is, factory farming, where
life eats life.
Life eats life. When you're cutting up, when you're harming conscious creatures like, say, a cow or a pig. Now, pig is a very smart creature. You could actually argue it has a higher level of consciousness than some people.
Right.
I'm looking at you.
Definitely than the guy who made this documentary.
Vegan guy. Yeah. Torturing them in a factory farm is not okay.
Wesley says, bulletproof diet, brilliant, or BS. We were just talking about this.
Talking about this. The marketing is BS.
Oh, total BS. There's this guy, Dave Asprey, and basically everything he's selling is total bullshit. Like, he's talking about mycotoxins on coffee and all this kind of stuff.
Right. Like, make sure to cut out the black pieces of the avocado. Based on what
nonsense.
Evidence?
And he just wants to sell you his own mycotoxin-free brand of coffee, you know.
This is a good point. So when we talk about nutrition as the new religion, the low-carb guys are crazy zealot fanatics. zealot fanatics.
Yeah.
And I'm a kind of a low carb guy because that's my genetics. Like, it fits me. It doesn't mean I'm
It fits my
advocating it
genetics
forever.
better, too.
It fits my genetics better. But
I wish I wasn't.
I know, because I love
They're
them
good.
carbs. I love them. But the thing is, like, everybody's trying to sell you something, and when people are trying to sell you something, it's funny. Someone left a comment on my website, and they're like, "Well, who are your corporate sponsors, doctor?"
We're like, we wish we had some corporate sponsors.
We had some goddamn corporate sponsors.
Give us that shill money. We'll shill so hard.
You know how much this fucking place costs? A lot. You know how much money I'm making on corporate sponsors? It's like the American Academy of Family Physicians wants to promote family medicine. We do a show for that. That's a great sponsor. And we're working with some other people, but man, it ain't big pharma, it ain't big shilling because
also
they're not good enough.
Dawn says also please don't confuse plant-based woo merchants with vegans. Lots of pro-science vegans out there, and
Sure.
I saw some
I've
of
seen
them.
a few
I saw
comments.
plenty of them in the comments,
Actually,
and they were actually making really educated points, saying that this documentary was hurting the vegan movement, which it is. They said a lot of intelligent things, and there were a lot of doctors that are vegans that agreed with us also, because the science in this documentary is dangerous. It's not science.
It's misrepresented.
I don't even know why I'm
It's just
calling it
misrepresented.
science.
There's a lot of good science that says that a vegetable-based, plant-based diet is great, and including Dean Ornish, real doctors, real scientists, right? And there were some, usually I don't say this, but the comments on YouTube, on the YouTube version of our video, are actually very high level.
Oh, real quick, Amanda says, please tell us some of the things you agreed about with during What the
Yeah.
Hell.
So there was one of the docs who, with a beard, I forget his name, was saying things like, we're in Western medicine, we're a reactive culture. We have an illness model. We don't have a prevention model. A lot of what we can do can be prevented with diet, exercise, lifestyle, and I agree 100%. I mean, this is 3.0, guys.
But it can't be prevented by just not eating meat.
Well, in some people maybe, but the thing is, if we're not even having the conversation, now the problem is he's gonna in the next breath, he's gonna say people who find a low carb, high fat, meat-based diet useful for them are making a terrible mistake. That's not helpful. It's also probably not scientifically true. So that's where we are going to disagree. I also agree that here's another thing I agree with Tom. I don't know if we talked. We cut this out of the show. USDA, food pyramid, government organizations, AHA, American Diabetes Association. They have no effing clue about what to recommend for nutrition. They have no clue. You can tell. They just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they're trying to put out a one-size-fits-all by watering down everything.
And they're heavily,
grain and carb-based.
So many lobbying groups are in bed with them.
You don't think the dairy industry? They're right. The movie is right. The dairy industry is a huge lobby. The meat industry is a huge lobby. For instance, grain industry.
We haven't gotten into this yet because we have to do research before we talk about things. But one of the things we're going to talk about in the upcoming future is the coconut oil thing, whether coconut oil is healthy, unhealthy, etc. But one of the points was one of the guys that had come out against coconut oil that was on the board was from the Canola Oil Foundation, right? So it's like that tells you a lot right there.
Yeah, listen, everybody's
But we haven't done the research, so we don't know.
Everybody's trying to sell you something. Here's the interesting thing about us, and I'm going to toot our horn for a second. We're not trying to sell you shit.
No.
We want you to watch our show. We want you to donate to the Humane Society.
Or not.
Or not. We want you... We want you to have a voice and be a part of the conversation. Yes, we make money. I make money by we can get sponsors for the show. I can do speaking engagements. We can get sponsored videos. That's all fine. But I personally am not trying to sell you shit. I just want to do the right thing for the most people. And I think you guys do too.
Well, all right. So this is what I really want to ask you about. And I think a lot of people want to know what your personal opinion on this is when do you think we're going to be at a place where we can have an individual-based diet, like a diet that works based for your genetics?
Yeah, well, first we have to understand our genetics, and
so
that's being worked on.
That's a big code we're trying to crack.
Personalized medicine is a code we're trying to crack.
So is this part of the genomic movement that's going to happen in the future?
Yeah, because how I respond to saturated fat is very different from maybe how you respond to it.
Correct.
And I can prove it by eating saturated fat and measuring lipids, and I've done this on myself. I've done a lot of self-experimentation with low fat, high carb, high meat, low protein, all these different diets, and I see what it does to my chemistries. And what I found is a Mediterranean diet for me actually is the best for my chemistry, and that means something in my genetics that I don't understand is causing that. Because I can eat a high amount of monounsaturated fats like olive oils, nuts, and omega-3s like sardines, and I can have a fairly high saturated fat component with that, and still my HDL is high, my bad cholesterol LDL is low. But if I eat pure saturated fat, my LDL goes through the roof.
Break it down what it might look like for those of us that are uninformed, uneducated on this. Like, would you get like a printout from a dietitian or something in the future, and it would say these foods are good for you, these foods are bad for you, or would it be like based on like time of day, combinations of food? Like, what's it going to look like?
It's hard to know, but this is my intuition. A dietitian or a physician or a genomics expert can give you a pamphlet and say, here are the foods that, given your genomics, are going to agree with you and give you the best chance to live the best, most energetic, least cancer-driven, least atherogenic lifestyle. And it's based on tons of data. We have big data over hundreds of thousands of people, and we can say with 80% confidence that this is a good diet for you. But experiment on your own and see how you feel. And I think that's coming. And then we can have the argument, instead of making it a religion, we can make it a science. Because right now it's a religion. It's politics. It's like, I'm a Democrat, you're a conservative. Well, we're never going to agree.
So okay, so now that we're pre this utopian dietary revolution, what do we do with what we have available to us now? Is it all just trial and error? We got to be guinea pigs for ourselves, and like, what does trial and error look like in a scientific way? Like, how have you gone through this journey for yourself?
So I think there are certain. First of all, you have to kind of experiment on yourself. You have to have a medical partner who can help you, whether it's blood testing or just seeing how you feel, seeing what your weight does, seeing how sharp you feel, and then there's certain principles, right? Like, it's pretty clear that a high processed food diet, and I agree with the movie on this, high processed food, including processed meats, hot dogs, pepperoni, things with nitrates in them, probably not, that you can have them in moderation, okay, but you can't make them the foundation of a healthy diet. As many plants as you can eat, and then healthy fats like monounsaturated fats for most people, not all, is probably a good, but again, there's no one size fits all. There's an adage, right? Eat food, not too much, mostly plants. That's probably right for most people. And you can eat a lot of plants without having a lot of carbs.
Well, this is why I know the vegan diet is not based on health, but based on ethics and moral concerns. Is because it'd be much better to be 90% plant-based,
right,
than 100% plant-based.
100%, I agree. Because if you want to decrease your intake of heterocyclic amines or the compounds that are created from grilling meat or red meat, heme, those kind of things that they argue are damaging.
Charlotte wants to know, can you repeat the movie you're discussing again, please? Charlotte, we're talking about What the Health, which is a new Netflix documentary. We did a review / takedown of it yesterday.
So if you want to decrease that stuff, just eat less meat. You don't have to completely eliminate it, right? And the other the other piece of it's a harm reduction. Now, there's certain things like trans fats that are zero safety at all, no matter how much you eat. Like, we really ought to just eliminate. I think most people can agree on that. So we start where we agree, and then we build a custom diet for ourselves. And working with a nutritionist, working with a physician, working with your own conscience. Like, are you okay eating meat? Does it have to be a free range chicken, or can it be that shitty chicken you get from Albertsons has probably been tortured in a pen shitting on itself? You have to figure out.
Tracy Allen Jones says, but the China study. Nothing to do with animal rights and everything to do with years of research. The China study is heavily biased, Tracy. Yeah. Have you looked into it deeply?
We'll do a thing on it.
We'll do it.
We'll do a thing on it.
But it was more of a geographical thing than a dietary thing.
Yeah. And look, you can look at every culture and say, well, look, this culture does this. Yeah, their genetics totally different. Their culture is totally different. People are like, well, look at the blue zones. Look at in the blue zones how they eat. In the blue zones, they eat a vegetarian diet with fish and nuts. Right. Okay, great. That works great for a culture that has that genetics, that also has a cultural component of taking care of each other, of society, of working until you're 90, of being physically active. So that diet works in that context. Great. You can't tease out the individual components of it. It's very hard. That's a problem. Studying nutrition is very difficult. Until we get into the gene level and we really start looking at personalized medicine, it's going to be a challenge for the foreseeable future.
Let's see. And let's talk about food deserts. The reality for many areas, northern part of my country, has one grocery store in a 25-mile radius with a 45% child poverty rate. That's from Rachel. And, in the movie they say that drinking milk is institutionalized racism because the government is putting the needs of dairy farmers ahead of the needs of inner city black Americans, which is total bullshit. They would probably love if you drank more milk, right? In fact, they're doing a disservice to the black community by not getting milk to them and not getting high quality whole foods to them.
You want a food...
Because they do live... More of the black community in America lives in a food desert than the white community.
Here's what's subsidized in poor communities. What's subsidized is high fructose corn syrup from farm subsidies in the to subsidize big agribusiness in the center of the country, and that's really what's being subsidized. You can look at the dairy and all this, but the bottom line is the food deserts are a real thing. We have them here in Las Vegas. It's very hard to access healthy food. It's easy for me and Tom to go to Whole Foods and buy a bunch of crap. It's not easy for somebody living in an inner city with a very low income who's maybe on food stamps. It's very, very tough. So those are socioeconomic issues that we have to look at when we look at diet. That's why I think politics, nutrition, they are a little intertwined.
And Whole Foods is fucking dumb, you guys. I mean, Jesus Christ.
You mean Amazon?
Like, you know, I'm hoping that Amazon makes it legit. Like I hope they make it more like Sprouts or something like that, where you get like good quality products at a good price. You're not buying stupid crap like aloe water
Sprouts
and things like that.
is American because I can afford Sprouts. Oh my gosh.
Good freaking grief. How is eating or drinking anything being racist? That's a special kind of stupid. 100% agreed, Brian King. 100,000 million percent agreed.
I agree too. Where's my purple drink?
Let's see. I did the 23andMe, says Kayla. The raw data analyzed and found I possess pretty much all the bad genes, and I'm most likely to have less muscle mass and more fat than others. HTN, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, mood disorders, and many other bad news bears genes. I'm not going to blame my genetics, but I am trying to reshuffle the deck to improve my health now. First step, quit drinking a metric ton of sugar a day. Next step, stop living on pasta, bread, crackers, pizza, etc. It's all about improving my diet for me, not my husband or neighbor or my brother or my mom. It's all about me. Correct.
You nailed it. And I did 23andMe. I've done even more sophisticated genetic testing than that through the Human Longevity Institute. Craig Venter, who sequenced the human genome, ran my genome for free in exchange of me coming out there and talking to their group about Health 3.0. And I learned this and that and the other thing. But the truth is they're still not sophisticated enough to tell us really what kind of diet we should eat.
Can I tell you another shitty takedown that people have been saying about you?
Oh, please. Oh, please.
This is not very Health 3.0 of you, Z-Dog MT, because you're not being inclusive to the idiots inside our community.
Can I say something right now?
Say it. No, pick up the American flag, man. Jesus.
Did I just drop the flag? That's not very 3.0. Let me just... I love you, flag. America's done a lot for me.
I'll keep these safe.
It's done a lot for me and my family, and I have to say that I love America, but that doesn't mean I'm in love with America.
You know what? You're health negative 0.00, that Z-Dog MD. Okay.
Okay, people who think that Health 3.0 means being uber inclusive of every stupid idea and every debunked notion and every bad methodology and every bit of poor science doesn't understand what Health 3.0 is. Health 3.0 transcends and includes the best aspects of what came before it and the science and wisdom of the millennia. However, it rejects the shadow side of that. So if the shadow side of Health 1.0 was fee-for-service profiteering, we reject that. If the shadow side of Health 2.0 is turning everybody into a commodity to click boxes and destroying the human relationship, we reject that. We repersonalize medicine. We use the best evidence in a personalized way. So when I see a movie that says everyone should stop eating meat because of these horribly wrong scientific reasons, I will stand up and say, fuck no!
Hell yeah, that's science, motherfucker!
Science!
Get some!
I'm hungry as fuck. How about you?
Somebody said, have you seen the movie? Liz said, have you guys seen Okja? Probably more likely to affect diet than Joaquin Phoenix's documentary.
I said that in my blog post this morning. If you guys haven't seen it, go to zdogmd.com/what-the-health. I saw Okja with my kid and my wife the other day. And if you guys haven't seen this movie, first of all, it's amazing for a couple of reasons. One is it's an animal rights movie that makes fun a little bit of the sensibility of animal rights people. So the PETA equivalent in the group is the Animal Liberation Front, or ALF. And they're a combination of dipshit assholes and really amazing good people.
Well, that's a real organization, right? That's not a fictional organization.
ALF is a real thing?
Yeah, real. Militant. They're like PETA's militant arm.
So like they'll put on a mask and they'll like choke somebody out, and they'll be like, "I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to harm you, sir. It's a non-lethal choke."
Yeah.
And in any event, this Okja is this super pig that's genetically modified by the Mirando Corporation, which is in fact Monsanto by a different name. And Tilda Swinton's amazing in it, by the way.
Tilda Swinton's always great.
She's always amazing. She was great in Doctor Strange as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, she's the white Viola Davis. Nobody knows what that means except for me.
I actually got it instantly. So anyway, so Okja, you come away. First of all, the computer generated graphics in it are so believable. You just drop your jaw. You're like, how did they animate these animals? But more importantly, you come away, especially by the end, and you are just like, I am never going to eat a factory farmed animal again. And my kid was just like, is that what they do to animals? Like the bacon that I ate? And I'm like, yes, it is. And all of us in the house were like, we're going to do our best to try to avoid inflicting suffering on animals if we can avoid it. So there's that. So watch that movie because that will hit you in the elephant. And don't watch What the Health because it's crap.
Or
watch it and understand that it's crap.
I always sort of hide behind this thing of, in Buddhism, and I'm a Buddhist, y'all, kind of. In Buddhism, the Buddha says, if you shouldn't kill animals, right? But if there is a dead animal at your table, you should eat the animal because it does nothing but insult your host, right? But now we live in a society where like our consumer choices affect those decisions. It's not like you're showing up to the table and there's already meat on the table or whatever it is.
So we can make through our purchasing, we can make better decisions, more ethical decisions. I actually do believe that, and I agree with the movie that it's unethical to eat factory farmed animals, and yet I find it very difficult, and I'm a hypocrite this way. I find it very difficult to give up that meat because it's inexpensive, it tastes really good, and it makes my children happy.
Yep.
And those are practical reasons why.
I feel like at some point, you ever feel this way that at some point as a grown-ass man you need to go hunting and actually kill an animal?
Yeah.
So that you can, like maybe you kill this animal and you freak out and you just say, I can't do this ethically. Or maybe you go, you know what? I'm a steward of the land.
Yes.
This is my job as a human being.
Yes. If we were more connected to our food, whether it's animal or plant, I think we would behave much more ethically. Like when I grew up, we raised animals and we ate their eggs and we ate the animals, and we did that kind of thing. And my parents are from India. They would slaughter their own animals. My wife's parents from Taiwan. They would slaughter their own animals, and they would eat them, and they would respect the animal, and they would do it in a humane way. So that is being connected to your food, which I think is more important than anything else. So
you grew up more in a rural community, as did I.
Yeah.
And you find that you're much more connected to the people. Not that I was necessarily killing animals or anything, but I had friends that owned farms and things.
Sure.
And I would be over at their house, and you're much more connected. You're around it more.
Yep.
I think a lot of these vegans are just like, city people that are just like, I'm just gonna go to the kale shop down the street, okay, and get a kale smoothie. And if you don't want to do that, you're a fucking murderer. Okay.
Like I said, man, meat is murder.
Yeah.
But watching that fucking documentary is like genocide.
That's
so painful.
Torture.
It is so
Pure
painful.
torture.
And on that note, what do you think, Tom?
The guy that made that documentary was the dumbest person I've ever seen in my life. He was so dumb. It was hard to watch. Remember when he's calling random secretaries and be like, so tell me about the ADA, doesn't like to support diets? And somebody said we were making fun of that because we were making fun of the ADA having diet information on their website, whatever. No, we were making fun of the guy because that's not how you do a documentary. You don't call up the secretary and go, she refused to talk to me. They must be hiding something. It's a conspiracy.
Boop, boop, boop. Hi, 911. Why is the police trying to stab my neck? It's like, it's crazy. Now, look, I'm not going to attack the guy for being stupid. He's just...
I will. You're stupid as hell. Shut up.
He put out a stupid movie. And it's the same ad hominem as someone, photoshopping a dick on my head and calling me a dickhead, which upsets me because it's uncircumcised.
He, when him and Steve-O were sitting there talking, like, yeah, dude. The chicken, dude. Serving chicken at a diabetes event, dude. It's like serving alcohol at an AA event, dude. Dude?
El Pollo Loco, bro.
Oh, bro.
Because I will get into a porta potty that's full of stool and have a crane tip me over and be covered in feces. But fuck that chicken, though, because that's gross as fuck.
That's right. You know what? This is America, y'all. And in honor of America.
You gave me a corneal abrasion.
You know what? Take your flag, Z.
America, you hurt my eye.
We're going to close this out strong.
Hell yeah.
Love you guys.
I love you, America. Now I got to awkwardly turn it off.